I just finished a new sketchbook. Let's do a sketchbook tour. Hello guys, so it's time for a sketchbook tour. Now that it's 2019, I want to start a brand new sketchbook, and because I recently just finished this sketchbook, let's do a sketchbook tour. But before that, this one is going to be a long one, so you can sit back with a cup of tea or a snack or something. It's going to be a long video. As always, before I start, I am going to say what the stickers are and also the sketchbook type. So this is a Marriner sketching journal. You can tell because it has Marriner on the front. It is a British stationery store, I think. I think you probably could get it online. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's 160 pages, so it's quite a big sketchbook in terms of the ones I've already used before. So obviously, first sticker is the very obvious Scrawler Box logo. I get a load of these stickers, so I just stick them on all of my sketchbooks in the corner. Then we have a Loish sticker down here. This is from when I supported her last, I think it was Kickstarter or Indiegogo. One of the two. I can't remember entirely, but it was a fundraiser for a project she was doing. Then we have one of Saphira Lou's mermaid stickers. And on the back, we just have a Yandere-chan sticker. This is one of my stickers, and I, again, was testing out this sticker paper that I have. This is like smooth vinyl, and this is just washi tape that's holding a couple of the back pages with like notes on. So let's start. So first of all, I want to explain that this sketchbook was actually for all the development of Inktober. So it has all of the development sketches I did throughout Inktober. If you want to go see the Inktober sketchbook tour, I will actually have it linked in the iCard in the top right hand corner. In this sketchbook, you'll see all my thought process behind each of the themes. So first page, we have some really, really bad hand studies and a picture of Reese. I think it was supposed to be a picture of Jalal or another character, but like, I don't know why. I just thought Reese would look good with this. I'm not entirely sure. So this second sketch, I really like this one. So I have an OC universe and I like drawing things for it, whether it's characters, the world, and this was a 1 AM sketch where I just took my pencil in semi-darkness and just did a sketch. And this is probably one of the best sketches in the book. Now the kingdom in my OC universe that this would be in is Verona, and yes, I am well aware that my kingdom's name Verona is named after an Italian city, and it is a crystal kingdom, so you have loads of crystals and it just looks really, really magical. So this next one was me trying to force out a location drawing, and you can see that it didn't go as well as the last one. This is supposed to be Avis, and it's like a bird kingdom, and it's known as the Cage Kingdom. And my mind kind of took it literally, and it looks really terrible, and I really don't like this one. So now we get into the Inktober development. So first of all, we have Poisonous. So for Poisonous, I had multiple ideas. So the first idea I had was behind Nicholas's dad. Now 2017 for Inktober for day 3, I kind of did something similar with Camilla and Nicholas, where it was kind of speculated that Camilla had poisoned her husband intentionally and killed him off, and I never confirmed or denied it. It was kind of like up to the viewer what they thought about it, and I kind of wanted to expand upon that idea. So this is Nicholas's dad. He does very much look like Nicholas actually, which I'm really, really happy about. So then of course we have Camilla. So exploring the same idea as 2017's Inktober, we have poison in a teacup, literal poison, thumbnailing, That's also something I really want to do this year, is just expand upon my compositions, and that's what I kind of said in my art goals video. But yeah, for Poisonous, I actually did a video where I went through all the supplies and I kind of went through the process of the final piece for this. So something I did during day one that was something that I was going to do for the other ones, but I thought it would take up too much room in the sketchbook and also bulk out the sketchbook to a point where I wouldn't be able to shut it. This kind of shows you my process behind each of the Inktober's. So I would actually do a concept sketch in my sketchbook, take a photo of it, and then blow it up to the right size digitally, and then do all the little details that needed to be in the piece. This piece in particular also had like a colour composition as well, because it was a really hard colour combination to pull off. Day 2 was Tranquil. Immediately when I thought Tranquil, I thought of my character Typhee. Typhee has a backstory where her family is the ruling family of like 2 places, which is Navern and Henlon, and her parents split up because of the matrilineal rule throughout their monarchy. So this is just after the parents split, the kingdom splits, and she is left alone and really, really sad, which is heartbreaking for me, okay? Obviously, I'm not going to go into too much detail about the stories in this video, but I am going to give slight glimpses of each of the stories that come up within Inktober. This was a point where I forgot my food diary sheet, so I just decided, you know what, let's write it in my sketchbook. It's the only paper I have at the moment. I think this day I also went to the market because you can see that there's embossing powder here, and I tried it out with my heat tool and was really surprised, and was surprised with the result. So day 2's final piece was actually sketched on a post-it note. The whole reason why there's like words everywhere is because I was trying to come up with captions to make the image more easier to come up with. So day 3 was Roasted, and you can see that I sketched in pen and some of that. So these characters, this is Spiro and this is Pele. Obviously you know Jalal, and these are actually Jalal's parents. Just a really quick horrific sketch of them, just plastered there because yes. So the original thought was Jalal's parents, obviously with Roasted because of the backstory with the fire and the heartache. But I decided against that, and I actually went for Roasted as in my new fire characters. So Jalal lives in a kingdom called Cinderash. He is not royalty in Cinderash, before anybody gets on my case about that. He is not. But these people are. My OC universe is based around the royal families and their connections, okay? Okay. What's happening here is that it's a lot of scribble, but in this scribble, there is actually kind of a story going on. The main story behind this is Spiro, which is this guy back here. He is fighting off an assassin named Eliana, which can be seen here. Obviously, in the final image, if you've watched the Inktober final sketchbook tour, you'll know that I went with this composition. But Eliana does actually show up later in Inktober. Day 3 is actually part of a 3-piece series in Inktober that tells a story. There are multiple storylines going on throughout my Inktober, and this is one of them. Day 4 is Spell. Now, immediately, I thought Jalal's parents. Now, yes, I thought of them for Roasted, but I thought Spell would be a lot better because the way that Jalal's dad falls in love with his mom is incredibly like she put him under a spell. Even though she didn't, he just fell for her immediately. It was just love. Yay. Chicken was a really hard one because I couldn't really come up with anything. I just decided, how would I incorporate it? It's got to be some piece of dialogue. And I did think of Jalal or Nicholas, but I kind of thought Rocco because he got in a lot of scuffles as a kid, and also as an adult, I feel like he would get in quite a few scuffles. And I thought that people calling him Chicken would be an idea. So drooling. Obviously, it had to be a child. It had to be a baby, which is really, really cute. I really like these sketches. This one has more of a realistic approach to the face, I've got to admit. But it's adorable. I like it. Exhausted, day 7. First of all, I thought it would be Loki with her little future son Kai, and she would be exhausted, or she's just tired in general. And but I ended up not going with that, and I went with Nicholas again. Nicholas appears a lot in Inktober, and I think that's a really important point to note, especially about my character universe. The whole reason why my character universe started, me asking myself, or like telling myself, Nicholas really needs a girlfriend. Like, who would be Nicholas's girlfriend? And it spiraled from there. It's just Nicholas and his daughter Isla, which I think is adorable. And then we have Star. Of course it had to be Ruby. Who else could do it? No one. That's who. Precious. Precious was a hard one because I thought, well, Precious could be anything. What is Precious? A baby, life, crystals, pets. Basically, the premise of the caption was that, yes, these crystals are really, really beautiful, but nothing was as precious as the love he had for her, which I think is adorable. Also, this is the same kind of colour scheme I used for my collab with Scribblefix. Flowing, day 10. And this one was more or less with powers flowing through a certain character. So this is my character Amelia, and you can see all of the failed attempts at trying to do the up tilted like head. It is so hard. Props to any of you who can do this, but it's so difficult. Then we have Cruel. Cruel, it had to be Hawk. I'm sorry. Like, Hawk is my evil emperor character of Avis. That's why Avis is known as the Caged Kingdom, because it has this evil emperor. I love Hawk, but I also hate Hawk. It's a love-hate relationship I have with this character. Now, Hawk looks very different to a lot of my characters because he has more of like a crooked nose. He has a very, very evil kind of aura, and you can kind of see that in this headshot right here. It's not the best drawing I've ever done of Hawk, but it was only me trying to like work out how I would actually do the face. So this is the pose I went for. I ended up drawing out the pose and also the throne that he sits on. This is the throne design. And also his scepter design, but I don't think I ended up using the scepter design. I did most of the detail work digitally, and that's why it looks like an empty husk. Okay, before I go on to day 12, which was Whale, I want to admit something. Drawing Your OCs episode 6 was an Inktober edition. In that video, I went for simpler characters with shorter kind of backstories, just to make a point of, you don't need to give me a lot of information, just a bit, so I know what the character is like. Before I came to the conclusion that I would need simpler characters for that video, I chose this character, which, as you can see, has quite the complex design. And I feel really bad because I did draw her in my sketchbook intending to draw her for a Drawing Your OCs, and I didn't because I was strapped for time with Inktober and everything that I was doing at the time, so I'm sorry. I feel really guilty that I didn't include this in the Drawing Euroseas episode 6, but it's in this sketchbook tour, and I will end up doing a final image of this character at some point in the future. I don't know what episode it will be. This mermaid character appears multiple times, which I really like the continuity. So you can see some of the other thumbnail sketches. You can see that this was the final piece, essentially, that I neatened up digitally. Again, with day 12, more kind of stuff. This sketch will look very familiar for day 17. Just putting that out there. Guarded was day 13. I already knew what I wanted, so when it came time to sketching it out, I didn't really have very many concept sketches. This is what Kanara's crown looks like. This character is Kanara, and these two silhouettes. This one I think is a servant, but this one is supposed to be James, and James is the Crown Prince of Verona, and he goes visiting around all the kingdoms, and she is looking out over her balcony because the whole caption is about how she is guarded, and then she meets someone new, which is James, which changes her outlook and everything. Clock had to be Loki, of course, the Princess of Time herself. In terms of all the sketches, this is probably one of my favourite ones in the book. It just makes me laugh. She just doesn't look amused. It's great. Eventually, I kind of went with the theme of Loki and Elijah, and the reason why I went with Loki and Elijah for this one is because Elijah's owner, Paxton, he actually uploaded a picture on Twitter of the couple, and I wanted to draw them so badly after that. I thought, why not? Clock is the best theme for them. For those of you who haven't seen the video with the final piece for the Inktober, I actually explained in that video that this was a redraw of a previous piece I did back in 2014, I think. And you can see that there are individual assets that I pasted together into a composition. So with Week, this character's name is Sparrow, and this is Holly Blue. And Sparrow is actually quite a tragic character because he is the heir to Avis, which means he is the son of Hawk, the cruel emperor. The caption is actually from Hawk's perspective, and he is calling Sparrow weak. So the caption actually says, "She was weak and so are you." And the she he is referring to is Sparrow's wife and Hawk's previous daughter-in-law, Holly Blue. I had no idea what to do for Angular. So I have a desert kingdom, and my character Bethany is a part of that desert kingdom, and the desert kingdom's name is Dune. This is the very conceited prince. I wouldn't say he was evil, but at the same time, he's not good either. His name is Matt. Even though he's incredibly handsome, he has a very intolerable personality. And his style is very angular, so I kind of went with it. Day 17 is Swollen, so I originally thought about a character being pregnant, but then I thought I did a pregnant woman on day 15 with Week. So I really wanted to go with something else. And this is when I kind of had the idea to go with swollen, as in the sails of a ship being swollen from the wind that is pushing the ship. This is why day 17 doesn't really have very many sketches to it. It's because I actually used the concept sketch from day 12 to match up with this. Day 18 is Bottle. It had to be Bethany. She's a genie with a bottle, of course. It had to be her. There were many different sketches behind this one with like compositions because I wanted the main focus to not be a character but the character's possession. So I actually designed Bethany's bottle. Scorched. This is going back to Roasted. So I took some of the ideas I had for Roasted and did some sketches here. Now some of you might call abuse right here, but Actually, no. She is an assassin. She is going to kill his parents. These drawings might look a bit sketchy, haha pun, but there is a reason behind his actions. Also, another Jalal headshot, because of course, burning, scorched, roasted, oh no. So then I went into more about Eliana. I thought, well, let's forget Spiro in this particular picture and go with Eliana. Now the characters that are royal in Cinderash, Spiro, Pele and Pyra, all have this thing called Molten Touch. So they can actually burn you if they touch you. With Eliana trying to assassinate his parents, Spiro is very riled up, and of course with his emotions riled up, he has that Molten Touch, and Eliana inadvertently gets scorched. Then we have Instagram Designs My OC. I'm not really going to go over these because I have a whole video on this subject. Again, iCard, description, you get the picture, quite literally. Day 20, Breakable. This character's name is Sajini. I first kind of thought that it would be Mira in this picture, but Mira doesn't really fit at the moment into my character universe. I think she does fit, but it's kind of awkward. Drain, we have this character. His name's Abereron. He is Typhi's brother, so he is going through the same thing that Typhi is going through in day 2. So day 2 and day 21 also link together as well. And this is the final sketch that I went with. There wasn't really much to change. Expensive. Child Melissa looking at toys is incredibly cute. So Muddy had to be the gardener of Mariposa. So Mariposa is a butterfly kingdom. There'll be a lot of gardens and stuff. So of course this character had to be included. And the queen actually falls in love with her gardener. However, she can't be with him. And of course this is the top of the final sketch anyway. Chop also explores Holly Blue a little bit more. So this is before Holly Blue actually passes away, and she discovers that Hawk has a collection of butterfly wings, and since she is a butterfly princess, she is horrified to discover that these wings, he has a collection of chopped off wings. It's creepy, Hawk is cruel, and a lot of people actually really like the final image of this one. I think it's because of the overwhelming red colour that I used for the background here in the final piece. Then I was going to do a Halloween concept, and for the last 4 years, I think, probably even longer than that, I've actually depicted Loki as Little Red Riding Hood. But I didn't end up doing it. I think it's because I was doing so many other things that I just didn't really have the time to do it. Day 25 is Prickly. It has a link to day 10, Flowing. So this is the kingdom behind that character on day 10. And this one was more so about it being abandoned with like the prickly brambles. I'm really liking the whole concept. I kind of designed the castle like a lighthouse as well. Stretch, I had a problem with this one. I had no idea what I wanted to do. And then I kind of thought, what character should I do this with? Because it's a tough one. But then I kind of thought about Stretch in the way of like a conversation or a piece of dialogue or something. Kind of like with Chicken, it was a hard one to pull off. This character is the king of the underwater kingdom. His name is Flipperold, or we call him Flippy. We call him King Flippy. He is a seahorse king, and the whole point behind Stretch was actually he's adopted 11 children, and then he finds the 12th one, and he's asking his wife, I know that 11 was a stretch, but look at her cute face. She is adorable. Can we keep her? So Thunder, day 27 is Loki and her mother. Gift, I was gonna do like this letter idea, so I kind of wrote really terriably. My handwriting is awful, so I did attempt a little bit of calligraphy, which I'm terrible at too, but I ended up going with something a little bit different. I went with this. So Isla is actually given the gift of wings, and these wings are actually inspired by a necklace that I have. This being the necklace. So double, of course it had to be something with twin characters. Now originally I did think Rocco and Reese. I really did want to explore the rest of my OC kingdoms. So there's lots of timelines and there's lots of future generation stuff. Yeah, my character universe gets a bit crazy, so I'm sorry if you're trying to follow along. There's no particular order to my Inktober pieces either, which makes it even harder to follow along, so I'm really sorry. Jolt, so jolting out of the way of an attacker. I put these together digitally, and this was like a concept sketch. You can kind of see how terrible that is, but it kind of gives you an idea of what it's supposed to look like in the final piece. Slice, we have Eliana. So the ones that actually link together are day 3, day 19, and day 31. So I really like how there's like one at the beginning, one in sort of the middle, and one at the end that kind of tells you a little bit of the story. After Inktober, I went through burnout because of course I did, like always. November 6th, I actually graduated, so I did this little sketch, and it's a really cute sketch of me in my graduation robes. Yay! I was incredibly happy that day because at the time had lost 2 stone. Or slightly over 2 stone, I think, at the time. Now, I'm over 3 stone, which is great. But of course, graduation, it's a really happy day anyway. It was just such a lovely day with my family. If you ever go to the University of Worcester and graduate, your graduation ceremony is going to be held in Worcester Cathedral. That graduation ceremony had Hogwarts written all over it. I felt like Harry Potter, like experiencing Hogwarts for the first time. It was amazing. And with everybody in their graduation robes, I cannot explain to you how magical it was. Then I did some Spyro sketches because this was around the time that Reignited Trilogy was going to come out. This is the cutest picture of Spyro ever that I've drawn. He is a very good boy. Then I did some random sketches. I think these sketches were supposed to be of Loki. The Slimming World Ball, I actually went to a party specifically for my weight loss, and at the time I think I just passed 2.5 stone, and this was me in my dress. In these pictures, I was trying to design a boyfriend for Ruby, still trying to in some regard, but this was kind of one of the first attempts I had at drawing him. This was Scrawlerbox November, which I was still kind of disappointed by. There's literally one face sketch and the word nope. It wasn't working, basically. So this was a picture that was supposed to be Ruby, but I kind of failed and I coloured in too much hair. Then I was thinking of the love interest of Ruby, of course, like I said on the previous page. This is sort of the design I went with. I'm feeling like I still need to work out a few things, but woo. Okay. This was like my very first sketch of Alira from my Drawing Your OCs video. I was thinking whether to do it traditionally or digitally, and that was around the time that I was like, oh, Clip Studio Paint's on offer. Yes, please. This is James, the Crown Prince of Verona. Then we have my dragon boy Jalal, because he is adorable. This is where I actually took his design and revamped it a bit. So he's still the same character, it's just I kind of wanted to give him a better design in terms of his clothing, because his clothing has always been sort of the same. It's always kind of been like a waistcoat design, and I thought, well, let's try and experiment, make it kind of different. I really messed up on the colouring with this, but the colouring of this one actually turned out really well, and I uploaded it as a video on Christmas Eve. Again, links, description, iCard, wherever I can fit them. This was me also trying to work out Ruby's love interest. And this is my favourite picture of Alex ever. So for those of you who don't know my character Alex, Alex is Ruby's cousin. I haven't introduced her on my channel yet, but it's something that I do plan on doing. Look at Alex, how mad she is. It's so good. I love it. She is jealous. Then we have me drawing Mira, because I haven't drawn Mira in a long time. I'm trying to rework her design as well. I think in terms of the clothing, a lot of my characters are okay, but there are some ones that I could update their clothing styles of, and I was just experimenting a little bit here. It didn't go as well as Jalal's redesign of clothing. This is the Butterfly Queen Yulia. Then we have some sketches of Ruby. Now, oh, this looks a bit off, and I can't be bothered to fix it, and I didn't fix it. So please nobody comment about this one being terrible, because it's kind of good until you until you see the leg. Oh, and I was kind of proud of it until my mum and my nan were just like, yeah, the leg looks really weird. And there's supposed to be like another pose of Ruby. So this was supposed to be a little sketch of Daphne and Hide. However, didn't come out as well as I thought it did, so I just left them as two empty husks. In Daphne's case, what's new? And we have this piece. So this piece was actually supposed to be a redraw of like 2016's piece. So for 2016 going into 2017, I did a piece that looked like this. However, that one ended up looking better than the redraw. Why? I mean, there are some things I like better in the 2018 version than the 2016 version. Like the proportions look better, the shoulders look better, and we have some Iris and Argus. So for those who don't know, Iris is the character in my Draw This Again fairy piece. So Iris's original name was Lydia, but she was renamed and given a home in my Butterfly Kingdom as a lady in waiting. So this is a sketch that I haven't shown on social media at all, and I've been wanting to, but I've been saving it for this sketchbook tour, and I will actually post it to Instagram afterwards. So this is a picture of Alex with her hair down and also her jacket off. Like, she's done for the day, essentially, and she's just sipping some tea and she's on her laptop, and I thought it would be a really good pose to practice. I think I did reference that pose as well, and I kind of made it my own by making it. So originally I was actually going to draw Alex for the pastel petals theme, but I then decided to draw Rocco. Of course, I had to add a little bit of extra paper because I can't place things in a sketchbook correctly, apparently. Then I did some sketches of Camilla. This was on New Year's Day that I did this. And I was trying out my watercolour pencils. And I'm really, really liking them. So this, I think, was the 2nd of January of 2019, obviously. So this one is actually referenced of an old picture of my sister, and this one is reference of an old picture of me when I was little. And these two are just like random headshots. I was trying to draw children and obviously my brain wasn't having it. Then we have a sketch of Isla. I'm not sure if I like this one, but this one, it was just supposed to be a thing for me to test out my watercolour pencils a lot better over a bigger surface area to see what they would do. And I really, really liked the colour combination I got for the skin tone. It looks really, really pretty, although it is a bit pinkish. Either way though, it's still pretty. Me trying to do poses, haha, didn't work. During one of Jenna's second channel streams, she was doing university work, I was drawing Rocco and Reese, and I actually have designs for them that I did in The Sims, which I really liked. I thought that their clothing styles looked better in The Sims than my actual designs for them. So I drew these two with the references from my Sims game. I really like Rocco's sense of style. I really like it. For my last page of this sketchbook, I did 2 hand references of my own hand, and holy crap, they look so awful. What a way to end off this sketchbook. I hope you guys enjoyed this sketchbook tour, because this page is so awful. Let's leave on this page. I don't know what that is. Just ignore that. Just you have the boys. You have my baby boys, so there. I hope you guys enjoyed this sketchbook tour. If you did, you can click the like button and subscribe if you haven't. To stay up to date with all the content that I will be posting on my channel, including live streams, you can click the subscribe button with the notification bell. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!